Hello and welcome to Dungeons & Dragons: A Darkened Wish, the series, Episode 2, Year of Splendors Burning. As independent content creators, we rely on the gratitude of patronage and support of viewers like you, and in the form of your bits and tips and donations, but especially in the form of supporting our sponsors that make this happen. So, first of all, thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for making this possible. Thank you for Q Times for hosting us here. D&D Beyond is a digital tool set that can give you everything you need to play Dungeons & Dragons, basically everything you need. It just so happens I actually was just at their headquarters and got some sneak peeks of some incredible things that are coming, but since I don't want Adam Bradford to put a hit out on me, I'm not going to say anything other than some super, super dope stuff is coming along. Digital versions of all the 5th edition books. You can pre-order the Wildmount supplement there already, and that will be included when it's released. Dogmite Games hath blessed me with this wonderful DM screen here with this old red boy, Hundar, the Red Rage. Can't imagine why he's on the screen on this particular show, but this is beautiful. This is the screen they got. They put out a whole video where they give like the guided tour of what this is. I cannot do it justice. Thank you so much, Dogmite. Visit them to get your own custom DM screen to elevate your game. Level Up Dice, that's dogmite.com for the record. Level Up Dice, I'm partnering with them to help bring luxury dice to the masses. There's like a large wig. It's attacking me here. You're going to see it in a minute. It is gorgeous. Level Up Dice, of course, they have the specialty vampire dice or specialty D&D dice. They are fantastic. They are magnifique. Check them out. And last but certainly not least, Games for Love. Very near and dear to my heart. It is a kindness-oriented 501c3 charity oriented towards helping children, reducing the suffering of children, using the power of gaming and community to make their lives better. So visit gamesforlove.org to find out more. And with that being said, let us meet our heroes.
Hi there, I'm Mayleigh Damage, and I'm playing Helene.
I'm Sam Dillette, and I'm playing Aiden.
I'm Aki, and I'm playing Kerrin and Karrin.
I'm Mattaliano, and I'm playing Xander.
I'm Alcuin Gersh, and I'm playing Rayonde.
And I'm B. Dave Walters, playing literally everyone else. So, when last we met, our heroes were out on an adventure on the high seas on their ship, the Mother of Pearl, and were waylaid by a group of pirates and slavers that you all had actually been on the trail of for some time, and in the process of defeating them, liberated 25 souls that you were able to bring back safely to the city of Neverember. Neverember, a few years ago, was beset by an event known as the Ruining, which brought what was once the most beautiful and cosmopolitan city in the Forgotten Realms to the brink of absolute ruin and destruction. And even now, there is a tremendous chasm in the middle of the city, and mercenaries and sellswords from all over Faerun have been hired and conscripted to come here to help protect the city as they actively battle to take it back. You all, as members of the White Sails Mercenary company, actually pulled double duty as members of the Crown's Guard for Neverember because their entire peacekeeping force are mercenaries. You all came here, and your Captain Nikto ordered you to report to Sergeant Alphonse Knox with the one and only instruction not to mention the slavers. Do not mention the slave ring. She said, Neverwinter's got enough problems. We don't need to be adding that to it. They're fighting monsters. And upon meeting Sergeant Alphonse Knox, a certain someone, a young red-headed wizard, brought it upon herself to say the only thing she was not supposed to say. There's a slave ring. And we will start right back there with Alphonse Knox is a bear of a man. He is walking around in full plate armor, even though a giant two-headed axe is basically sitting in the corner. It is not quite covering dust, but it's clear he probably hasn't personally swung it in anything in a respectable amount of time. He's got a patch over one eye, and even though his dark skin is still smooth, he's got a thick gray goatee, and stands up and pounds an iron armored gauntlet into the desk and looks at you and says, "Excuse me?"
So, yeah, it all kind of started. There were slavers. They attacked us in Mintarn.
Slavers in Mintarn. He looks past you all to there's a couple of attendants, people that had led you in, and he's like, out, close the door. And he comes around and sits on the edge of the desk with a heavy clunk and the wood whines under his weight. It's like, He's like, start over and tell me what happened from the beginning.
So, when we were in Mintarn, slavers attacked us while we were looking for the white sails. And during our journey with the white sails, we were attacked once again by the same slavers. And they said that there's a slaving ring inside Neverwinter.
He stops and he looks at you for a second, Rayonde, and he's like, don't see many Dragonborn these days.
How many have you seen?
What made you enlist with the white sails?
They seemed better than the pirates I lived with before then.
More pirates. Have you seen slavers out wherever it is where are you from?
The Moonshays.
Caught your accent. Yours too. Are all of you from the Moonshays?
I guess kind of we are, but there is quite a lot of variety in the Moonshays. Different places. Norland's quite different than other parts.
Norland, yeah. It's Norland.
Not quite there, no. But it's not important.
Gwyneth. So, to answer your question, since I guess this is supposed to be a free exchange of information, I know you hear stories about old Alphonse and being a tough guy, but the truth is, every gruff knucklehead out there getting lost in his cups, treating you guys like you don't matter because you're young, forgot they were young once too. And it's a great thing that you all are doing. Wasn't too long ago that I also signed up to get away from the one-horse village that I lived in, and people that didn't like me because I was different and thought I could go out and make my way in the world with that, pointing at the X. And he's like, and you know what? I was right. Keep your heads about you, cover each other's backs. There's nothing in this world you can't do, all right? That's the end of the pep talk. Now, I'm going to ask you all to do something for me.
Okay.
I'm busy running Lord Dagald Neverember's security force, all right? I don't even get much time in the office. I got to go soon to cover him for some state dinner tonight, so I can't go out and take care of this slavers thing myself. And I can't risk having a huge uproar if I start pulling guards from their posts and sending them to investigate either. So it looks like the 6 of you volunteered.
What about those kids we were supposed to teach?
I can delay the training for a couple of days. Besides, you do a good job with this, you're going to have a lot more to teach, right?
That's valid.
Hey,
Well,
I'm not saying no.
how well trained are the kids?
Well, they don't come in with us now, are they?
I mean, if they're not,
They're,
just an idea.
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone?
Yeah, that's more kill the kids. I
or
guess.
kill all the birds. Yeah, no.
What's the specifically?
Since the ruining, one of the things that Neverwinter put into place was a conscription. Mandatory service. Everyone at least need to learn how to fight. Like, they don't necessarily have to ship out, but at least know how to pick up a sword. So, on the one hand, they're members of the guard, but they're bakers' sons and cobblers' daughters and anything else in between.
Not exactly fighters.
Not exactly fighters. And I don't want on my conscience sending a lot of ill-equipped kids that didn't choose this for themselves. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of ill-equipped kids in this city. but I want to have a chance for them to get back to their parents. You, however, why did you look so nervous telling me this?
We were kind of instructed not to. But we felt it was the right thing to do.
He stands up and he walks right over to you, and he's a giant of a man. I mean, he's half again as tall as you and half again as wide. And when he gets close, those of you that are used to swinging the sword, Aiden, Xander, Rayonde especially, you can see that his armor is exquisitely crafted and very worn. This is not decorative stuff. He's been neck deep in it a lot of times. And he gets very close up to you, and he's like, what ship did you sail in on?
The black
I don't
The
want to...
mother
Pearl.
of Pearl.
Did you not know what ship we were on this entire time?
Hold on.
You did it, did
I know
you?
You
You
get on me
didn't
all the
know.
time about that, but it sounds very similar to something I read when I was younger.
I just don't want to get Nikto in trouble.
Then maybe not say their name.
He's like, he does smile. You can tell, he's like, it kind of cracks for a second. Where he's like, I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm not going to tell Nikto just how easily you cracked. We'll say I had to grill you a little bit, And
I appreciate that.
one of his large gauntleted hands kind of on your shoulder and just sort of balls up a little fist of cloth. He doesn't hurt you a little bit, but he's like, I had to rattle it out of you. He probably shakes you harder than he thinks he's shaking you when he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, Nikto's a good soldier. She plays the long game. She wasn't wrong asking to keep a lid on it, but maybe be a little more selective about disobeying direct orders.
I understand.
Yeah. And he turns and he walks back around towards his desk and he goes, 6! And walks around and sits down. 6 Dragonborn. I seen in Neverwinter. I don't know if they're still here or not, but 6.
Like, over what span of time? Recently?
As far back as I can remember. 6. 2 blue, gold, green, black. You were red. And a white one. So I guess 5, not counting you.
Thank you.
You want to thank me? Do a good job. And he picks up a pen and he starts writing something.
That we can do.
Yeah, it's like you're not there anymore. Literally, he's like,
Sir, are there maybe details of how to find these slavers, or what our mission is exactly, or are we just okay?
We've got this. Don't worry.
Yes, thank you for your time.
he kind of puts his quill down and he leans forward again, and you hear the desk creaks again under the weight of him sort of leaning forward, and he's like, look, I suspected something like this was happening. If they have the infrastructure to be sending ships all the way down to Mintarn. Did you save any people? How many?
I believe the number was about 30.
30 souls. You need a big space to keep 30 people against their will. That's not a small operation. They're probably getting by bribing some of the people who might not have the same upright moral stance that we have, right?
For sure. They had children with them.
No. He slides out a drawer and he pulls out an iron coin. None of you have ever seen one like it. And there's something etched in it that you can't quite make out. It's very old. He's like, you get into trouble with the guard. You show him this. It'll only work once. And he hands it to him. He's like, you show that coin, that soldier will follow your orders to the best of their ability. All right?
Thank you.
slides it back shut. And when he slides it, the whole thing kind of like shakes. He's like, kids, just do what you got to do. But if you can bring some back here for me to have a word with, and he motions towards the axe again, he's like, that'd bring some joy to an old man's heart.
Yes, sir.
I think we can do that.
What are your names? What
Xander.
Rayonde.
Helene.
Aiden.
I'm Kerrin. I'm Karrin.
You see, he like writes something down. He's like, I'll make a note of that. Report back here in 3 days. Teach the next generation what you've learned.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Dismissed. And this time he picks the and goes back to writing.
Why does the coin only work once? Like, if it's a good idea to follow our orders, like,
I was
isn't
wondering
it a good
that too.
idea?
Do we keep the coin and just make people do what we want, or is it?
I mean,
you spend
maybe like you hand it off. I'm just
That's
saying,
what I
like,
assumed.
it's a
Yeah.
weird system. That's all.
It is weird.
Okay,
It's
so we
very
need to
weird.
go to the Beach Leviathan, right?
Yeah,
Like the crime bar. We need to go to the crime bar because
to find the
because
slavers,
this is crime.
right, Aiden?
I mean, yeah. Look, we need to find them, and they're doing crime, and that is why we should go.
All right, but if we start doing one of your little schemes,
I mean, that
I thought that was implied.
wouldn't be terribly bad. I'm a little on edge after that whole conversation. I'm sorry to just...
Another
Blur it out,
avenue that
guys.
we have is going to the fighting pits.
I mean, I assumed that that's where the Beach Leviathan would lead us. If it's got connections to a criminal underworld.
So, specifically to recap, Aiden, through, quite frankly, some spectacular roles of what you knew, Aiden had a bizarre insight in kind of the Neverwinter and its history.
Still weirded out that I'm smart. Maybe I'm just very well read. Maybe you've just all underestimated me. Ever think of that? You ever think of that? No. No, tell me more about what I know.
That would seem to be the case. You were aware, again, of not only the history of Neverwinter and what has happened to it as a result of the ruining, but that there are, in fact, primarily 2 main bars. There is the Beach Leviathan that caters more towards the scummier end of the spectrum. You know, there's some people that do honest, hard work down there as sailors, but the smugglers, slavers, merchants, those types are probably more Beach Leviathan types. And there is the Driftwood Tavern, which also is not just a bar, but a museum that caters to a higher quality of patron.
Did you say museum?
Yes.
That sounds like
Not where they smuggle people. You definitely don't traffic people in a museum. That's just like basically they wouldn't dare.
But they might traffic art. Also a crime.
Yeah, but not like slaving. It's like
I have to agree with Aiden.
But
Yeah.
it feels like an avenue of interest for maybe later.
Yeah, I think we do that.
I think that if we're able to figure this out, I think a museum could be fun.
maybe we educate the kids about like art and culture and stuff
At the museum.
at the museum.
That would be very fun.
And hey, don't worry about it. You did the right thing.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. As
A little bit
I'm
of
nervous.
warning would have been nice.
Honestly, I was going to say something, and you beat me to it, so...
We're on the same wavelength, so thank you for backing me up on that.
Of course.
And are you gonna beat me to the Beach Leviathan? Because I think not.
All right,
I would like
we're
to
for sure
proceed
I would for
apace.
sure like to race.
You know what? Hey, let's see then. All right, you can both give me athletics rolls. Let's just see who's physically faster.
Parkour.
Sure. Yes.
I think I'd like a smoke both of them.
Yeah.
Not with those rules.
Not with that.
Or yeah, yeah. Didn't stretch out though. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got
I'm stretching down. That's what that was. I
What'd you
wasn't
get, Aiden?
running. I was
Huh?
just stretching.
What'd you get over there?
You first.
Damn it. Well, I got 15.
You know what? I was warming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all.
Get that same hamstring issue is like going around. You guys might have caught something on the do Helene or
what
either
you
of
get
the
for
twins try and run
Jumping
with
all
them?
over the place.
Don't have my left
I
legs
think
yet.
That
that
wouldn't be a dead end.
Yeah.
Kerrin and Karrin are doing what they usually do and are just watching amused as these ridiculous fellows try to upstage each other. I feel like that's what Kerrin and Karrin spend a lot of their time doing, is just watching these fools try to upstage each other.
Yep.
I mean, they've seen it a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny every time. How cute.
Yes, Helene.
I too was just warming up.
Right. Everybody, it's the cobblestone is slick. And everyone, it's, yeah, right.
I
Perfect.
think
like to
our
slide
legs are
all the
just
way
used
down.
to the water. We're used to being on a ship.
I thought that the parkour would work better if there weren't just a really big building that dead ends. the
Maybe
alley.
if they would wait a few seconds, we could actually give one of them guidance. I don't know.
Xander, you smoke them and stop to look back to see all of them, Helene, Aiden, and Rayonde, kind of in the middle of dramatically like, ooh, yep. No, just didn't, we wasn't ready. It was
I would like to backwards run and be like, come on, Slowpoke! They can beat me!
you all know that, or specifically you, Aiden, know that that's true. The Beach Leviathan is in the Black Lake district of Neverwinter.
Yeah, keep running. Oh, where are we going? That's right.
It's true. Like Button Hook, yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter to me.
the northern district of the city. It was largely unharmed by the ruining, mostly because a lot of wealthy merchants live there. And a lot of the innate magic that just sort of powered this city with its clocks and fountains and bridges, a lot of it was sort of concentrated in that area, which is why it was just able to resist essentially everything that's been thrown at it. As you all make it that way, it is starting to get dark from when you shipped in. And again, there is a cool breeze coming in off the ocean. This is much, much further north than the islands you all are from. And there definitely is a chill in the air that none of you have ever quite gotten used to.
It's,
About all my coats.
it's colder up here than I expected. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. So which way are we going?
As you guys are walking along, again, you see what you've kind of become accustomed to, even in your short time in the city, that a lot of these buildings, even these ones that weren't necessarily, some of them have clearly been damaged. You can tell they used to be nicer. And even a lot of the ones that haven't necessarily physically been damaged have clearly been altered. Like barricades have been erected, windows have been barred shut, murder holes have been formed on the walls. Because again, periodically, terrible creatures come out of the chasm, and especially immediately after the ruining, when nobody knew what was going on, they poured out by the hundreds. I mean, for the most part, they're relatively contained, but the fact that the city could be subjected to an attack by something terrible, literally any time, is very evident. Even though you still see people trying to go about their business, again, there's shops, bakeries, people are out in the streets living their lives, but this is clearly a war zone now. Mm-hmm. And you can see several buildings have been conscripted as barracks. You see some rival mercenary companies, some logos and sigils. You even see the odd mark of the White Sails kind of hanging out, because it is a prominent mercenary company.
Wait, sails?
That's us.
White Sails? Yes, of which, you all are one ship of dozens.
The best one, though.
That's why it's the mother of pearl. It is not clear how many ships there are in the White Sails, because one of the things that Lord Neverember has been doing is just spending a lot of money raising a fighting force, which again is why you all signed on in the first place. Word had spread because of the aggressive expansion of the White Sails. So as you all are making your way through, you arrive over towards the dock area, and you see the Beach Leviathan, which is actually a ship, which you've heard the stories, Aiden. It literally is a ship. It is the wreckage of the pirate vessel Leviathan. But again, although you all were born on the islands and you've spent your fair share of time on the seas, it is clear this vessel will never sail again. Platforms have kind of been built out around it, it's very heavily moored to the docks, and there's sort of posts and pillars that come out of it. So she definitely has taken her last voyage. But yeah, there it is. It is a gigantic ship. It is easily double the size of the Mother of Pearl. And it is clear that there's people walking around inside. You can see through the portholes. There's people up on the decks. I mean, it is, it's jumping.
What a fascinating construction.
I guess they don't call it the Leviathan because it's tiny.
This in and of itself is kind of a museum.
There you go. History lesson while we do heroics.
All right, you guys ready to check this out? Because I'm kind of excited to see the inside of this. This is bigger than our ship. It's really cool.
All right, eyes on a swivel, hands on your purses.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty cool.
Keep it together, bro.
All right, sorry.
All of you give me wisdom checks.
Helene is very distracted by how wonderful this place is.
Successfully disbelieved. Right. It is incredible, Helene.
A 10.
10,
Just a 19.
19,
18?
18.
I know what you're thinking. But
And it's
I'm
a
a
20.
very wise guy. That's why I'm a wise guy. Now 20, thank you very much.
It's
You beat me by 1.
Xander, hey, Helene, Rayonde, you're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, let's go. There's no negative repercussions from any of this whatsoever. Karrin, Kerrin, Xander, you guys especially remember what happened the last time you were at a bar like this. In the twins, you guys tried to warn them, and no one listened to you, even then. Aiden, you know that yes, this place is shifty and is innately dangerous because some of the people here are dangerous. But you also know an operation of this scale probably has someone watching over it. So it is almost less likely to just get black bagged and dragged away directly from the premises as such. Probably. You also know, Aiden, with your natural 20, that there's a bizarre slang they use here, a bizarre nautical slang that you picked up a couple of words, but you're all like, no, no, you don't got it. You were like, you were told, let's just see, it's something that that if somebody told you to batten your hatches, you were about to end up in a fight. Oh, and if they called you a flash packet, they were insulting you. Those are the only two things you know.
You flash packet.
Keep your
I
powder
think-
dry. mate.
I think guarding our purses will be the least of our problems.
I agree. I do think we shouldn't drink as much as we drank last time, because that turned out not so good for us. Just,
Maybe also don't let anyone else buy your drinks.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule to go on from here on forward.
Yeah. I am just going to focus on the mission at hand for the time being, I think, and just kind of maybe stay away from that.
See, Aiden, thinking tactically.
Yeah, I think I will as well.
What?
Discipline.
Just
Discipline is
saying.
what we need.
Speaking of which, 5 others.
Yeah, I mean, one of them could be here. Who knows?
Actually,
We'll know if we're in there.
I counted what he said, and actually, he did mean 6. 2 blue, 1 gold, 1 green, 1 black, and 1 white. That makes 6.
But I'm the only red.
Yes.
Well, I thought he said there was another. You're red.
Yeah.
I think he
The
meant
only one.
specifically Rayonde.
Oh. That was an interesting way to word it, but I guess that makes sense.
I mean, any of any kind is interesting. I don't even know if we have a common culture.
I'm actually going to grant you inspiration for catching the fact that he did give 6. I did that on purpose, so there you go. I'm going to give you
I
inspiration.
mean, who wouldn't have? If anyone was going to catch that, it would have been Karrin and Gersh.
Twice as much chance to catch it.
Bravo,
Helene's
yes.
gonna fall back with Rayonde and be like, look, I know that we're supposed to, like, go to the museum and teach these kids after, and, like, I think that we should, but if we run out of time and you want to play hooky and try and go look for some of them, I'm down for that. We can let the others kind of do that, and then I'll help you. I'll go with you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
While you all are standing out front, you see a gnome come walking out who is like clearly 4 sheets to the wind. He's like, I'm okay. I got it. No, I'm just gonna go back. You're freshen up and boom, and like collapses. And from inside, you hear someone go, "Oh, I slipped this ropey ass!" Ah! And you hear people like laughing inside. Well, like,
Kerrin and Karrin rush over and kind of crouch down next to the gnome. Are you okay? Do you need help?
oh, I'm seeing double.
Well, yes, but not because you're drunk. No touch.
No, are you an angel? Am I dead?
Is he all right?
I'm not an angel, but
And he does roll over to the edges of the pier and completely yaks.
Better in than out, mate.
Completely yaks. Yeah.
You are.
Oh, that's the last time I get mixed up with that press gang in there. Oh.
What
Press
gang?
He looks at you and goes, yeah, press gang.
Who are they?
You're not from around here, are you?
assume we are.
All of you can give me insight checks to see if you can figure out what he's trying to tell you. I will let you roll with advantage, Aiden, because so far the dice have told us repeatedly you have an
I know
insight.
Natural 20.
Oh,
There, you know
so
what?
very interesting. I too have a natural 20.
You know,
I got a dirty 20.
I'm very charming.
Here is what
15.
Right, we're so smart.
here is what I'm going to do. Since again we're using D&D Beyond, we have the use of technology. I am going to send you all a list of the slang that you, rather than try and explain it to you one at a time. However, because now you have 2 translators in the form of Helene and Xander. Rayonde, you're kind of placing it. You've been around sailors your whole life. A little bit of this stuff. In this case, the slang term press gang expressly means a rowdy group of patrons. So he basically got hung up with some people that outdrunk him, essentially. He's like, I pretty much just shouldn't have tried to keep up with those guys, is essentially what he's trying to tell you.
I think that means he's a lightweight, guys.
He's like, I'm very big for a gnome.
Yeah.
You are.
I'm sure you drank real good for what you drink. There's no shame in that, buddy.
He's like, oh, didn't mean to heel out in front of the place. And he starts trying to get up again. But I mean, he's, again, very wobbly legs. I mean, he's clearly...
Really? Can we help?
He's like, you got something that'll keep away the doldrums? And that's what I came down here for. Or
Someone of your incredible physical condition should be careful. You might get conscripted into Lord Neverember's army. Look at you, you're a masterpiece.
He does sort of like stand up a little bit. He's like, I'll have you know, I'm quite a scout. I've spent a lot of times in the mountains here. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you might get conscripted.
And he leans over
that.
and he does just like tries to touch your hair. Do you let him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He's like, oh. He's like, when we thought we were gonna have to evacuate the city, I helped find.
Yeah, I think
I helped
I
find. Hey, no, I'm telling a story. Stop it,
She's
you
kind of adorable.
double
until that.
angels. I helped find a safe place for all the people of Neverwinter. It's near the mountains, but there's fire elementals. That's why the water doesn't freeze. You ever ask yourself why water doesn't freeze in Neverwinter? Because of fire elementals. And he does like slightly like rock back a little bit and nearly falls into the water. Right. No, he very much would have just like, butt over tea kettles back into the water.
How about we sit you over here?
Mm.
Everything's gonna be okay now.
Oh, all right, great. You know, I'm a right privateer. You know, all right. Yeah, the beach.
Is it safe for you to sleep here?
No, I wake up with my coin purse gone and my boots gone and
Where
my
should
vest inside out.
All right, but you're not a wag, all right? Where's your crew?
Is he still in there? You know, I'm not. They don't want people to. I can't sleep out here. I don't want them to think I'm some sort of ballast out here. Just drive.
Yeah, you slipped your out, buddy.
I did.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. No shame,
No.
but you're done. Now, you want us to get your crew come handle you?
It's just you look no, not you. You might eat me. You look like a heavy packet. Give me an arm up here.
Yeah.
I mean, he weighs as much as a child. I mean, like it's nothing.
So light.
Yeah. So strong. He's so strong. He looks over. Yes. Were you gonna say something there?
me?
Yes.
No, I'm mostly just. I think Karrin and Karrin are like doing the sort of kind of. Do we help? How do we help? What do we do? Maybe we just kind of just wait until he says he needs the help.
I mean, in the strictest technical sense, was it thaumaturgy, the cantrip?
Yes.
Do they have that?
Yes, they do.
You probably could help him with thaumaturgy.
Because
he has not been poisoned. He's just very drunk.
Yeah.
No.
Goodness.
It would be a cantrip.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be thaumaturgy.
Oh, I could be giving you the wrong spell name. I spend more time on the arcane end of the discipline.
It's
Yeah.
right.
Like a sir.
No.
Honestly, probably any heal.
Yeah, I think I might just pump a quick healing word into this poor person, just to sober him up a little bit, just to restore some of his senses.
He is sort of you see his eyes brighten a little bit. He oh,
Well, that's actually a pretty good roll too.
look at the size of you. Oh, wow.
I am taller than you, it's true.
A real dragonborn.
That's a 9.
He's like, oh, ooh, whew, I feel so much better now.
What's your name, buddy?
Axos.
Access.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
I am a scout for Lord Neverember. And he bows.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We work for Lord Neverember as well. We're from the White Sails Company.
I salute you and your duties. He's like, I was just on my way to get a drink at the Beach Leviathan.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to? We were on.
We'll
our
buy
way
your
as well.
first round.
Yeah.
Whoa, well, thank you. That would be very, very polite of you. He stops and he sort of looks at all of you and his eyes narrow for a second and then he goes, okay.
All right.
And we have ourselves an inn.
Yeah, I'll follow the gnome.
He walks in and he's like, I am what you call a privateer to this establishment. I'm a regular, you might say. I'll get you a table. You stick close. They use some weird words that don't always make sense.
Helene would like to look around and see if she recognizes anybody there, be it somebody from that we've run into before that tried to get us, and or if she sees any more Dragonborn.
Give me an insight check. You all can give me,
Would it be insight or investigation?
if you whichever is higher, I will give you.
I'd love just to take a cursory glance, see if there's any bits of scribbles for maybe some thieves' cant I might recognize.
Okay.
17.
Also a 17.
17, 17,
19.
19.
I would just like to look around for any
know.
like egress or
Points of egress?
points of egress, or any people that might seem like they might be shadier than the most. Since I
I'm
know
pretty
there's a lot
sure
of
that
shady
Karen and
people
Karrin
here.
are probably keeping an eye out for the same thing.
Same, yeah.
So,
Just tactics.
again, it is a ship, 3 decks. You know, even if you got to the deck, you just jump. I mean, it's a fall that would be easily survivable into the water. So the simple answer is there's lots of ways out.
Okay.
Portholes, normal points of entry and exit. In fact, there's more places than on a normal ship because again, it's no longer seaworthy. So they doors out on side, like, and you can
a door to nothing.
No, I mean like extra. Well,
The door is
there
a
are.
hole you fly through.
There are
Perfect.
doors to nothing,
Eden
which you
gets
realize
to
is
grow.
probably for smuggling. Either one, easy stocking and resupplying, but some of them are kind of in the dark side of the ship's shadow, if you know what I mean, where they might be smuggling in some of the firewater type thing. So yeah, it's lots of entrances and exits. Did anybody get above a 19 on that? Nope. I was going to say there's not any, but we'll let fate decide if there are any. Hey there. As you are making your way through the ship, you do see up on one of the high decks a green dragonborn.
Helene will kind of fall back and grab Rayonde's hand and go, look.
I see them, but I'm worried. I've heard that all of the ones that have scales like red or green or black, that they're dangerous.
I mean, you have red scales and you're not dangerous to anybody except for usually the people that deserve it, so...
I thought that I maybe would try to meet like a silver or gold one first. I mean, this is a bit much. I don't know if let's
Take your time.
why don't you go talk to him first, and I'll just observe. How about that?
What do you want me to say to him? Do you want me to tell him about you?
Yeah,
or?
well, I'll just find out. What I guess what his life is like.
Just like a drink with a stranger kind of thing.
Just a small talk or something.
What are you guys whispering about over here?
Just chatting, taking in the place.
We were actually commenting on how out of shape you've become. And that
First
if you keep
off,
up with
that
your
is
sparring,
crazy.
maybe
I do
you beat
push-ups
me.
right now. Just
Well,
showing-
no, you're doing them wrong. No. Keep your shoulders square. Keep your
You
forward
don't
as
put your
terrible.
elbows out like that. No, you have to do them like this.
That's how my elbows work.
Oh, it's on now.
When you all start doing that, you hear a loud voice just yells out, "Oi! 10 pence on the Dragon Boy. He could do more of them." And another voice is like, no, 10 on the skinny one with the exposed midriff. And people start actively gambling on which of you is going to do the most push-ups.
I would like to do the most.
Apparently
No
this
one bet
has
on me,
a,
so I
bow
want to do
sprint
the
measuring
most.
contest.
What?
A bow sprint measuring contest. That's what this has become.
I will give you all a single athletics check to see who actually does the most push-ups.
I wish I could make an excuse for acrobatics, but there is none.
Of the
I mean-
three of
I'm
you.
not trying to do the most. I just want to make sure that each one is absolutely perfect.
Well, we'll roll it because we're still going to see just how perfect it really is.
All right.
The perfect
Who's
is
dropping out first?
the perfect is the enemy of the good. I have learned.
I got a 23.
23, all right. See,
What did you get?
Look, in all fairness, there's just like a strength to weight distribution thing that comes from being short. Oh, now you. Oh, how dare you? How very dare.
All right. You can stop showing off. We get it. You run faster.
Attack
You
one.
do better push-ups.
You tackle me?
Yeah, dude.
Jesus.
Stop showing up.
I accept it.
All right.
With open
I'll help
arms.
you out.
I grope a little and then.
I help you out, as bros do.
Yes.
so full disclosure. If you all see me like leaning in, staring so intently, there really is a Dragonborn who frequents this establishment, and they really at no point give what color he is. So he's green for our purposes now, but I just would like to give the official disclaimer that the next time I mention this person, if I found something different, he might mysteriously be blue.
It's candlelighting. We
That's
can't
true.
really be sure.
Iridescent scales.
You were doing push-ups.
Right.
I have no point of reference. So.
It is Schrodinger's Dragonborn.
Well, you know what? I'll give you this defense as well. In Japan, they call blue things green and green things blue all the time.
Okay.
Yes, Helene.
Helene will use the opportunity of them doing the one-armed push-ups to kind of make her way towards the Dragonborn.
You notice as you're walking, he sort of starts walking away from you, but as you get a little closer to him, you realize he's playing a lute and he's singing. There's a lot of just ambient noise in here. There's rowdy drunks, people are like odd people are singing songs and things, just like sort of like yo-hoing, all the noises of the ocean. So, it's difficult till you get closer to him, but that's what he's doing.
I'm just is he like walking through the crowd, or is he standing still in a place and singing?
You get the distinct impression he's heading towards the upper deck. But he's by no means in a hurry. He's sort of like making his way through. Every once in a while, someone tosses him a coin, and he'll you notice when he's playing, someone tosses him like a coin, and he just holds his hand out, and it stops in midair, and floats over to him, and he catches it, and he's like,
I'm watching in wonder and following him to see where he ends up.
Mm-hmm. He does just sort of head up towards the upper deck, And he stops at one point and he turns around singing and he looks right at you. And although he's got iridescent green scales, he's got bright, piercing violet eyes. He looks completely different than Rayonde. He's tall and lean. He's clearly a Dragonborn, obviously. But besides that, the parallels kind of end. His crests are different. His scales are different. His face is different. And he just sort of looks at you and he literally...
Helene will take a coin off of the back of her hair, and she'll toss it to him.
When you toss it to him, he dives, and he catches it in midair and rolls and comes up and stands right in front of you, and he goes, "Now, I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of lovely ladies in my time, but I can't say I've ever had one give me a coin woven from their very hair."
I collect them. And then, I kind of just put stuff in there because sailing and, the waves come up on ship. It's best to just keep everything kind of attached, held together.
That is brilliant. And he bows very low and, takes his head off and sweeps. He's like, "My name is Karrin, my lady." And he does kiss your hand. And when he kisses it, his scaly lips feel, oddly, cold. It's not bad, but you're that is very different. Yeah.
So, if I might ask, you have such lovely music that you play.
No, do go on.
What's a day in your life like here? Just friendly, conversation. I'm fairly new to the area. Just curious what it's like in the life of a local.
Well, I'm not really accustomed to someone asking me such a question. Perhaps we should get a table up on the deck and I can regale you with stories of my travels.
Sure. I have another friend who's a Dragonborn.
The red one, yes.
Yeah, he's really nice. But he's never met another one.
You realize, Helene, because you came in with him, Rayonde's way on the other side of this place. He's hard to see from here. And he's like, "No, the red one." Without turning his head at all.
So you spotted him already?
Man.
Interesting. Do you want me to bring him up too, perhaps?
He's never met a red Dragonborn. They are fairly rare, Quite often they're put to the sword as mere hatchlings. Terrible business, really.
Why is that?
Well, they're descended of red dragons. Dreadful beasts, really. I've known lovely red dragons in my travels. There was this one dragon maiden I made the acquaintance of. How old are you, girl?
Lady never tells her age.
I'll spare you my dragon maiden story, or at least once we're further into our cups. But if this poor lad has never met one of the proud and distinguished dragonborn, I would be privileged to be his first.
All right.
And he does very much almost gives you like the Aiden full leg over the chair spread. Yes.
Do you sit down like Riker?
Ah.
Look, I am not this tall not to sit like Riker. I'm a string bean with a purpose.
I mean, he may have been designed expressly to rationalize sitting like just
The creator.
hashtag it's canon now. Yes. Yes. So after you won the push-up contest, right?
That's what the bone said.
When you get up, a dwarf sort of waddles over towards you, and he slaps you on the arm again, pretty hard.
Yeah.
And he goes, lad, great job! I just made a full personal coin off of you. Let me buy you a drink. What are you having?
Oh.
Remember what we talked about?
Oh, what you talk about?
That you were gonna buy me a drink, right? I'm not gonna drink it.
So, you want one too? I understand that you got smoked in the push-up contest.
Right, no. You must have seen that incorrectly.
It could have been worse. You could have been doing push-up against a dwarf. We're all chest and the short arms, so we could just do them for hours.
You're all unnaturally competitive. I wasn't competing.
Aye.
And I don't want your drink.
And he leans over towards you, Aiden, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not competing just because I got buried and publicly mauled in front of the whole crew."
Hey, see, I got embarrassed in front of everybody in this whole place. You don't see me not accepting your drink.
He goes, I like you. And same thing but you notice it's like effortless. That he's like, he doesn't. Like, this dude's really strong.
In my defense, I was fatigued. Thank you.
Yeah. He just slaps the bar and he's like, oi. And you're right, though. You shouldn't accept drinks from strangers. Bobrick Highmantle is my name. He extends a hand to shake it. I would do it, but I will get that weird disembodied hand thing. Yes, so, again, when he shakes your hand, Rayonde, it's like a vice. Like again, and you, okay, ow, okay.
How are you doing that? Your center of gravity must be so low.
He's like, it is. The easier to grab people and toss them over my head it is. You want a demonstration, right?
No, I'm gonna write
it.
I want a demonstration.
We're both here for this. Toss me like a cheerleader.
Can you toss both of us? Same time?
He's like, I did not think about it again. He does like shoot in and get one of his just bear-like hands against both of your thighs, and just like flips you back over his
Can
head.
I acrobatics out of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing, thank you.
Can I just take a face
19.
of the floor?
Yeah, you very much like, yeah. And when you do it, the people around you go, Opa!
See, it's not all push-ups.
Right.
I just want to smash right into the floor with my face.
Oh.
I was like that.
Yeah, how do Karrin and Kerrin react to this dual spectacle of the graceful agility of Aiden?
Aiden doesn't surprise us. Xander biting him is just sort of like, for real? But also doesn't surprise us.
You do take 2 points of damage,
Perfect.
Xander. It's mostly just your pride, but I mean...
Psychic damage.
Just a flash of
Least
Kerrin and
resistance.
Karrin help Xander up. Really?
Thanks, Karrin. Thanks, Kerrin. Clearly, I said it to the wrong ones.
We'll work on it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, wow. That really exhausted me. I don't know why, but that dwarf exhausted me.
Take a drink from him.
I wasn't going to take the drink. Well, I was going to take the drink. I wasn't going to consume it. I feel like we could get some good information out of him.
I think Aiden's taking a shot right now.
You all turn over.
Can we see this?
Ah!
Opa!
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's not taking a drink if the bartender pours it. And you watch it.
That wasn't the.
Don't accept
We
drinks
watched the drinks
from other
last
people.
time.
We don't know who is dealing with the alcohol. But in any case, just be careful. And maybe don't bite it so hard next time.
Yeah.
Karrin, Karrin. Now I have Karrin, Kerrin, and Karrin. I did this to
You did
myself.
You did it
No,
to you
I
singing.
brought this thing.
Well,
this is a
Then
tale
you
of woe.
survived then technically. Yeah. Fair.
That is true.
He was already here.
Cursed by hubris. That is this is what has happened. Yes.
I don't know what you mean.
Kerrin, while Karrin is sort of checking in on Xander and kind of gently scolding him and being non-specifically disappointed in the fact that Aiden is already because, they're supposed to be on a mission, but here we are,
Here we are.
you and your
As per
sibling.
usual.
Yes, having to keep everybody going. You hear singing, and it is singing in Old Elvish. Like it's actually even difficult for you to translate. You can place it, you know what it is. But I mean, this is the type of thing that it's like your grandmother back in Gwyneth would sing.
Karrin? Yes, Kerrin? Do you hear that? Oh, that's different, right? Yeah, really different. Why is someone singing that here? I don't know. We should probably go check it out. Yeah, that sounds about right. Do we bring anybody else? Xander, are you okay?
Mm-hmm. I am.
Keep an eye on Aiden, will you?
Yeah, I got you, Karen. Karrin, God, son of a...
We'll work on it.
I'll get it. I swear.
Helene, Karrin looks over and he's like, "Oh, your friend there's quite agile. The other, not so much."
They're a fun bunch. But do you want me to go bring them over here?
I want nothing but to perform, you see. But again, yes, I would love to do a credit to our species, as it were.
All right, excellent. I'm gonna go get them. Wait right here.
Is it your intention that the lad know you wish his attention?
Yeah.
It's like, quite. And he pulls out his lute and he just sort of like strums a couple times. And you see small birds, like nightingales, come flying in. And they come and they fly around your head for a second, Rayonde, and fly straight to Helene. And circle around her and then fly out the window. And he's like...
I make my way over. Very slowly and coolly.
He makes a very dramatic display of like looking away and not looking at him.
Oh, Helene, I see you've made a new friend. Not that I care or anything, I mean, I'm just hanging out, I'm cool.
Don't you, lad? Don't you, Cal? Are you sure?
I'm Rayonde of the Moonchase. I'm a high-ranking member in White Sails.
No high-ranking, are you? How long have you been enlisted?
Only a few months, but I've risen very quickly because of my incredible aptitude and stuff.
I guess they have to,
You know how it is for us, us Dragonborn, we're very fast learners.
Are we?
And we always do what we set out to do.
Oh, is that how it is? Are you sure they just didn't have to meet a quota or something?
No, I'm not sure of that, but I don't know what you're suggesting.
Let's use my nice new dice roller. There you go. You have the benefit of being the first recipient of the dice tower, Rayonde. He looks at you and he goes, And while he's staring at you, you hear in your mind, he's like, "It's all right, boy. I know how it is." And his accent is slightly different in your head.
I want to say back to him in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know this language when you were born as well? And I say it like in Draconic.
He's like, and he replies in Draconic, "Yes, it burns in all of us. We don't openly speak it here. It frightens the pink one, furry ones."
It's strange. I hear those voices in my dreams, but I never learned this language. It just was part of me. Are there other things like that? Do I have to worry about knowing or not knowing what I'm supposed to know? I don't know.
Hold on.
What were your parents like?
Let me just double check one thing. He looks at you and he smiles for a second and he blows out a smoke ring of a bright, noxious scent. You catch the faintest scent of it as it goes by. It is like horrific sulfur. And he's like, "Some things come to us naturally as." And after a moment of sort of like really Helene, what looks like them just sort of intently staring at each other, and he's like, "Oh, how rude of me. We were just having a little bit of a mind-to-mind connection."
Oh no, that's all right. And like, she's just clearly very excited that she gets to be a part of this moment with her friend.
So it wasn't my intent to exclude you as such. I was just having a word with a brother.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. Do your thing, please. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go just check on our other friends. I'll let you two kind of hang out and get acquainted.
You just see his hand there, and then he just like moves, and he has the coin in between his fingers, and he's like, "I shall treasure this. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Allow me to offer you something."
Okay.
And he puts his hand behind your ear and comes back out, and there is a strange coin that you don't recognize, stamped with what looks like a fortress made out of ice.
I don't remember tying this one in there. It's an ice castle? Fortress? It's
There's
really
a
cool.
doubloon from Icewind Dale. It is far north of here, really. Not a lot of vessels voyage that far. The ice is terrible to navigate, and all but the warmest of the southern months.
This is really beautiful. Thank you.
So are you.
I'll tie it in right now so I don't lose it.
That I must say I deeply envy you for being able to do such a remarkable thing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
This-
And
Just like, he turns and looks at you and he's like, "That one's adorable."
You should stay away from her.
And when he said it, his eyes do glow slightly. He's like, "Feeling possessive, eh? Another thing that burns in our hearts."
I don't know what you're talking about.
I assure you, she's far too young for me. Is her mother about by chance?
You didn't answer my question.
I was attempting to answer your question of where little Dragonborn come from. And he does laugh out loud. All the rest of this is like mind to mind, but the laugh.
What did your parents leave you? Or did they raise you?
Most do. You see, unless one of us is some gargantuan worm, we're almost the living embodiment of outside interference. Hard for a daddy to bounce us proudly on his knee with faces like ours, or a mommy to hold us to her bosom with fangs like these on her teat.
So they thought that I would try to usurp them?
Didn't you?
Is that the way of our kind?
It's the way of all kinds.
I don't want it to be.
You say you're from Moonshay. Do you know from whose blood you come?
No. But I've heard others talk of Hundar and curse my name, saying that could be his offspring.
The Red Rage of Minton. He's a terrible worm. I gazed upon him once. All fury and fire. Glorious, really. Although among the pure-blooded dragon, they are as spiteful and segregationist as the worst of humans. They see my green scales and think they know me. They don't, boy. They don't.
I thought this would be different. I thought I would find someone like me, but you're not at all like me.
There's still time for you to improve.
I don't want to learn anything that you have to teach.
And I turn and leave.
Shame, really. And right when you walk away, he very loudly is like, "Remember to tip your server." Karrin and Kerrin, do you follow in the direction of the singing?
Of course.
It leads up towards the deck.
Okay. I think they're holding hands as they travel up the stairs.
When you get up near the top, you see someone standing near the front of the ship who is singing the song. And she's got... her skin is almost ocean blue. And her hair has like a tinge of green to it, almost like coral. It's nearly as thick as Helene's, honestly, although you've never seen hair quite as thick as Helene's. But it's close. She's definitely shaggy. But it almost looks like seaweed when the light hits it in just the right angle. And while she's singing, you see in front of her, there is an actual orb of water. And she's just sort of idly playing with it while she's singing. And her back is to you.
Well, that is certainly fascinating.
When you say that, she turns quickly and her hand turns and spikes pop out of the ball of water.
Oh, we mean no harm. We're just curious.
You hear another voice out of the shadows just say, "Calm now, Lynn Jess. We don't know what these ones are here for. I don't think you mean any harm, do you? Because if you do, then it becomes my problem."
We switched to Elvish. We simply heard the lady's song and were intrigued.
She comes out of the shadows, and she also looks similar to the other one. But where one of them is almost like oceanic blue, she is more almost white, like a foamy sea. She looks closer to almost how Aiden gets a little pale in the right light. And her hair is almost like the color of wine, like the way the ocean looks at night, like the way the ocean looks right now, actually. And she steps forward, and even though she is not an overly large person, she's probably right between Helene and Xander, or Helene and Aiden in size. She very much carries herself with like the air of like, it'd be a real shame if you got thrown off the top of this ship right now. It's just like, you don't mean any trouble, do you, dear?
Of course.
And she does reply in Elvish.
We were just curious about the song. It has been a long time since we've heard that dialect of Elvish.
The one with the water turns and like looks at you, and she just sort of like She looks at the one that came out of the shadows and looks at you for a moment and holds her hand out. In the water turns into the shape of a very large butterfly. And she starts singing the song again as it sort of like flutters around. And the first one says, I'm Umi. That's Lynn Jess. Our grandmother would sing us this song.
Was your grandmother Elvish?
She was. We are, something else.
Of course. You are of the sea?
And twins. Like you.
It is very nice to meet you.
She extends a hand. Well, do you take it? Yeah.
I'm Kerrin. And I'm Karrin.
Umi, Lynn Jess. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What has brought you to our fair ship? And the one who was singing in the butterfly comes and lands on Kerrin's shoulder. And you don't get wet, but you definitely feel the coolness of the moisture. It's seawater. You can smell the salt when it's this close.
Well, mostly just curiosity. We've never been to this ship before.
Umi looks at you and she just sort of smiles and she's like, Karrin, you're not a very good liar. Kerrin's tell gives it away. Her eyes narrow a little bit when you're saying something that's not true. Their eyes narrow when you're saying something that isn't true.
We are looking for information. But right now, what we are saying is true. We're curious.
Helene, as you're making your way up the stairs to the deck, you hear one of the twins, you can never quite be sure, 50-50 chance really, say what we're saying is true. We're looking for information.
Helene will kind of, do I see the front of them or the back of them? Are they looking at me or away from me?
Oh no, you in fact you hear them before you even come into view. You've yet to see either of them really, but from what you can hear, they're kind of like out and to the left, out of the staircase you're coming up. They don't sound distressed. You hear exactly that.
I want to peek out because, of course, I hear my friends, but I don't want to like interrupt the conversation or try to distract from it if they're getting information. I want to like let them do their thing, but I also want to keep an eye on them. And if they can see me, I'll kind of lean out and just let them know that I
You give me stealth because I love where this is headed. The twins can give me yes, perception. Mm-hmm. You can roll twice for them in this case.
Sure. That's good.
Full disclosure, we're still working out all the mechanics of how we're going to handle the twins.
So one of them rolled really well and one of them rolled really crap. So I feel like that's about right. One of them rolled a 19 and one of them rolled an 8.
They were looking in different directions, so one of them sees a thing and one of them don't.
I will say, Karrin, who has the water butterfly on their shoulders, their view is obscured. So this is why they don't notice. But Kerrin, who was looking at Karrin, also see what did you get for your stealth, Helene?
7.
Red hair very subtly pop out of the doorway. And the coins,
Except for the not so subtly.
the coins only jingle a little bit, really. No, but Helene. Because you got a 7. In hand to God, I rolled 6s for both of them. I'm not even going to bother with modifiers. Fate said they don't notice. Yeah. It's a burden being the only one that pays attention around here, right? Like even your siblings, they're all gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a very beautiful butterfly.
Umi looks at you and says, what do you think, Lynn Jess? Should we help them? And Lynn Jess looks at you for a moment and is like, how'd you know my song?
Same thing. Our grandmother used to sing us songs like that.
And she sort of takes a step closer to you. And she kind of like looks you up and down and she goes, you're beautiful. Both of you.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. You are also very beautiful.
When you say that, the butterfly flies kind of away from her and like just turns into like a mist. It sort of swirls, and she's like, where we come from, we were not to the local taste.
Well, if you could believe it, we travel with a group of people who are similarly not to everyone's taste.
She looks at she's like, yeah, Umi, let's help him. And Umi says, well, we've been orphans and outcasts too, so we feel motivated to assist you. What is it that you're trying to find out?
Have you noticed any unsavory, as in more than unusual levels of unsavory, folk around here?
They sort of look at each other and smile for a second, and they're like, I think there's only unsavory folk around here, sweetheart.
Fair. But have you noticed any disappearances?
They sort of look at each other for a second, and they go, well, that one's kind of complicated. Downstairs, Aiden,
Yeah.
do you keep drinking as they keep putting them in front of you?
How bad of a boy are you being?
You know?
Around the fourth one, you start to slow down. The mind is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised. Aiden and Xander. Bobrick is going 1 for 1 with them and it's like, glada, you're a credit to your community, yar.
Hey, Aiden, don't you think maybe we should get together with our friends and maybe spare the fire liquid here for the other sailors?
No, I think this is a good idea. While people are like,
Do you, Aiden?
yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea. I think Rayonde is meeting his kind, and the twins are meeting folk with songs,
Did
and
you
it's
forget for maybe a moment of why we're here right now? Just think back, just a few hours of why we're here.
Give me a constitution check, Aiden.
God damn it, Aiden.
Oh dear.
let's see. Good enough. It's worth checking the modifier. 13.
You're holding it together. You're hazy on the details, though. you're like, no, we were, no, we're here to,
We're here to work because crime.
Oh, God.
We're here to work because crime. Do you know about crime?
Bobrick slams down the mantle and like wipes the foam off of his thick beard, and he's like, what sort of misbehavior are you looking to engage upon?
Me. Never. I'm a very good boy. I think.
He looks over at you and he's like, your eyes are a different color, they are.
Yeah, how did you get that?
Because I can see your eyes, lad. They're right
It's
there.
very dimly lit right now. Most people can't even see it in the sunlight.
The eye is like a hawk I got there, Yeah. He's like, so you're like the chaperone or something here. You're like their dean mother.
What? No, of course not. I drink too.
Nah, I like your wags. I do. We're a bit short-handed tonight, so we have to kind of, find a way to get them to surface quickly because we didn't know when they're going to go away, And probably knocks one back.
Just like, yes.
All right,
And I pretend to drink.
No, lash up. Yeah, lash up. Yeah.
Yes.
And he does lean over and he sees that you. Yeah. When you do, is that what you've been doing this whole time, or do you do it just right
there's
now?
a lot of liquid behind me.
You hear, "Oi, what you throw the beer on me floor, you did?" And a waif-like half-elf comes through and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to clean this up. I saw you did it. That's a right waste of proper meat it was."
I slipped on my mouth.
Makes sense to me.
Bobrick turns, he's
Checks
like,
out.
"Oh, Katane." He's like, "The lad's got the drinking problem, The drinking problem." Rayonde, after who would you have gone after? Would you have gone after Helene, the twins, Aiden, Xander?
I think I would have gone back to check on these two knuckleheads.
I think we've got it.
Make sure they're not getting into any trouble.
Everything's probably fine.
You walk up to see the very...
Why is there a puddle behind you, Xander?
I don't know, the same thing. I washed me, just poured it, I cleaned over his shoulder.
It's
I'm proud of you.
Oh, did you wet yourself, lad? The lad is wet himself, he has. And the whole bar is like, "Oh, boy, pissed himself."
Does he wash it all away, though? Am I right?
Dude, should we throw the lad in the water? Hey, let's do it. Yeah, he did, like, Bobrick does hop off his bar stool. He's like, "You want to go for a swim, lad, do you?"
He's a good boy. We're keeping him. We're keeping him. I like him. I like his face. He has pretty eyes.
Two of them. They're two different colors. Their eyes, like, it reminds me of, like...
Got all his
You can
faces
see
covered.
that.
No,
That's quite impressive. It is very dimly.
His eyes, they're in his face. I mean, how do you not see that they're two different colors? What color are Xander's eyes, by the way?
They're the same.
The right one's brown, left one's green.
Mm-hmm.
Just know it off the top of my head, almost as if I had similar eyes.
It's a groovy.
Crazy.
He's like, I like your crew here. You're like a collection of contradictions, yada. It's like you got the Dragonborn and then a lot of the mismatched eyes, and then you got the you there, lad. Who's I mean, can I say enough about you, lad?
Oh, but please, though, my friend.
Nah, you got there's uniquely similar looking elves. There was two of them, wasn't there? I didn't think I was so far gone.
No, there's two.
Right.
And one of them's pretty, and the other one's also pretty.
I know, look at us. And the red-headed lass, that was amazing. It's like it's like she's got a beautiful, lovely beard on her head.
Headbeard.
Aye, cheers to the headbeard. Run the drink up to the headbeard, lass. Yeah, I want to make sure she's having a good night to do.
Who else been having a good night around here?
And
What you lads been getting up to, huh?
you hear when you say who else is having a good night, Karrin speaks up, and you can hear him across the whole bar, and he's like, "This is a little ditty for my new dragonborn friend." And when he says that, rainbow lights shoot out from his hands across the whole bar. And he's like, "It is a tale of woe and destruction. A little ditty for Minton known as Hunda's Lament." And he just starts playing like a very dramatic and intense song. Or you're like, oh, this is a scary one. Oh, hi. Oh, he's so terrible.
He's mocking me with this.
Yeah, I could have gathered that.
No, none of that. This is a bad place. We should leave.
Yeah.
No,
Well, Aiden over here drinking the whole goddamn ocean.
No, hey, this is a wonderful place.
This is a wonderful place, and I remembered that we're doing work about crime.
God damn it, Aiden.
Work about crime.
That's all we do
I'm
is
a man
work
about crime.
Meanwhile, upstairs.
At this point, I feel like I've been talking to them long enough that I can roll an insight check.
Mm-hmm.
Helene's just kind of like leaning against the doorway, just looking real casual.
I think I'm going to use my inspiration so that I can roll with advantage.
Okay. Hashtag act natural.
Winking at strangers as they pass.
Oh, thank God I rolled with
People are
advantage.
coming and going. Yep. Mm-hmm.
19. No, sorry. A dirty 20.
Mm-hmm. What is it that you're trying to figure out about them?
I just want to make sure that they're not as shifty as they seem.
Lynn Jess, who was the one who was singing, rolled a natural 20 on hers, so she is just inscrutable. It's like it is like basically trying to read the ocean. Umi, on the other hand, the one who was originally hiding in the shadows, seems like she probably knows what's up. You get the distinct impression that if they wanted to hurt you, they probably would have by now. Yeah. They don't seem to mean you any harm.
All right. So, yes, I guess we want to know if there are people who have come into the bar and then mysteriously disappeared.
Umi sort of like looks around and she goes, I'm afraid you'll have to be a bit more specific. It's a port city, you see. Like people come and go all the time. People ship in.
Are people being kidnapped?
She says to you in Elvish, I know you're new here, but if you go sticking your nose in the wrong place, you might end up upsetting the wrong people.
Why do you think we have two noses?
A huge smile comes across her face, and she's like, she sort of looks at Lynn Jess, and she's like, okay, we'll help you. But what are you going to give us?
We would have to talk to our friends.
I will give you one clue right now. This guy, he's a monster. And the water starts to form into a gnome. Exos.
This mother truck.
I knew it.
Well,
From the moment I saw his drunken face.
No, you didn't. You did not.
Yeah, you don't know that.
we know what that fire cave's about. The big spacious fire cave. We know what that's about.
Well, to be honest, that tracks.
She, while she's looking, she sort of is like, the redhead with you? She's been hiding over there for a while now.
Come out, Helene.
There you are. Fancy meeting you here. Guys, yeah, did you want another drink? We're all just kind of
No, they're going to help us.
okay, good. Hi there. I'm Helene.
When you say that, Lynn Jess, who you see the image of the gnome made out of the water, turns her hand and it goes out and like lashes around you like a rope and pulls you straight up to her where she's like eye to eye with you. She's like,
She can be trusted.
Hi.
you're different. Why are you different?
Not sure what you mean by that.
And she turns to her sister and she says something that, quite frankly, when she starts talking, you swear it sounds like the sound of ocean waves. It's more like shh. And the other one turns back and is like,
I know you were just talking to them. Do you understand what they're saying?
No. That's not a language I'm familiar with.
Okay.
And she still has the water. Like, you're not bound. I mean, but it's like if somebody like threw a jump rope over you and pulled you towards them.
Yeah.
But she's still like very close in your bubble, and she's like, it's the primordial language of the water.
That is so cool. Yeah, we're kind of doing a thing. If you want to help us, that would be great.
They want to know what we can do for them in return.
She's like, no, I know I said that. They didn't tell you, did they? You don't know.
No?
What do you mean?
This one. And and even Umi, the other one is like, I really don't know. Like, I'm like, why are you like this? Like, I mean, she almost looks embarrassed. Like she's kind of got to back her play, but she's like, what are you talking about? You know? And she's very much looking at you, and she's like, no, yeah. And she turns and she said, like, that noise, like the waves again. And it's almost like you see her sister, like, literally shrugs, like, when she replies, like, you know? And she's like, we are the children of the ocean. The Dragonborn that you came with. Mm-hmm. Children of the Dragons. The boy that's lost in his cups at the bar. Mm-hmm. The Aasimar, children of the divine. That's in you. But it's not on you. It's on us. It's in you.
I'm not sure I fully understand what you mean.
And when she tries to keep talking, Umi just kind of puts a hand on her shoulder and says, magic is taxing. I think my sister might just be a little tired. She's like, I'm not tired. She's like, fine, right, whatever. You want to talk about terrible gnomes and slavery rings and all sorts of things that don't matter. Yeah, but, what? Oh. And then Umi looks at her like, she goes, oh, was that in common? I'm sorry.
Then you did understand what we meant.
She's still just like looking at you. And the water that was like kind of it comes away and it like lifts up your necklace with your holy symbol. And she's like, what is that?
It's something very special to me. That I get a little sentimental talking about it sometimes. I mean, you seem quite knowledgeable, so I'm sure you can do the math in your head.
The water comes away and it like coalesces behind her like a stool, actually. And she just like sits right back and just sits on it. And it's still like swirling and everything underneath her. And she's like,
I think Kerrin and Karrin are just like...
No, it's a lot, actually. Like, it's pretty spectacular sorcery. She's doing it very casually. And she just sits down and she's like, why don't you get your friends and bring them up here and we'll talk. And she very much does start to look like lost in thought. Like, when she sits down, she's very much like...
I think Karrin immediately kind of peels off and sort of sticks their head down the stairs and, like, catches Xander's attention. Like,
all right.
You do see that.
I want to grab Aiden.
I'm in conversation.
Yank.
Yoink.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out where a boy can get some crime around here. Having established myself as a good boy, I have been in this interim, at least trying to see if I can find out. This is a large institution that's presumably hiring a lot of people. Who wants to hire a good crime boy?
Vorbeck's like, you want to join the crew, do you?
Tell me more.
Want to drink he looks around, he's like, the boy wants to drink the coin, he does. And they're like, the boy, drink the coin.
I've established my backflip bona fides. I think I'm an excellent candidate for your crew.
Wait, you need a backflip on a fetus?
Bona.
We're so boned. No. Yeah, see, this is why I'm your
No,
I'm your man.
This is the best crime. Yes. Give me.
A crime indeed has been committed.
against the entire language of Latin. Yes. Yeah, what am I giving you other than just that piece of my soul that's never come back?
Give me an well, I'm trying. I'm trying to play to Aiden's strengths here. Honestly.
I mean, I'm kind of running a deception. Is sort of the thing that I'm going. I'm trying to run a bit of a con.
I'll give you deception. Let's see.
Dirty 20.
While Aiden is schmoozing, you very much see one of the twins is like. So what are you two going to do?
Right.
You tried to grab Aiden, sort of like shook it off. So
Just
Very
leave it.
strong. I don't. Okay.
I mean, are you going to try and force him, or are
So
you
I was
going
like, I was gonna just grab
No,
and go.
let Aiden do it his way.
All right.
You all hit up.
I don't think we should leave Aiden by themselves.
Himself.
He's a him. Aiden's a him. He's a boy. He's a boy.
I just meant the
I
actual
get it.
word.
Mhm.
So, anyway. Fine. We'll go that way.
So you are going to leave Aiden by himself?
I guess. I
I'm
don't
a
think
very
we should.
capable.
I mean, you don't have to. But
Crime
yeah,
lord.
your name, Xander. You're going to
it's
stay.
bad.
I think Kerrin
I think it's
sees
a bad
both of you
idea.
trying to come without Aiden and goes,
Yeah, I'd like to physically move them.
that's not what I meant.
I'm like,
Oh, I know.
they have not been practicing the hand signals. Yes.
We need to work on our baseball speak here.
I was like,
Yeah, you're like,
Look, I play for a different kind of team.
right.
We know.
Rayonde, you also observe this, and you see Xander, the one who hasn't been drinking, turn around and about to lay hands on Aiden. What does Rayonde do?
He's fine. He can. Well, if you're so worried, you stay here with him,
I'm
and
in
I'll go
real
see
mixed messages.
what the
Is
twins
all I'm saying.
have found out.
Yes, they said for us to bring Aiden.
No, that's not what they said.
That's what we should call
They
them.
just said that.
Mixed messages.
Aiden, if you can hear this, why aren't you coming with us?
I'm back.
I'm gonna go upstairs. And
He's like, you then, mother, you can stay here and take care of this lad. Hey, you go talk to your friends, but
Den mother. Aiden.
that's not right.
Damn it.
No. Rayonde, do you come up and you join them?
Mhm.
Right. When you come up to the top deck, both Umi and Lin Jess turn and look at you, and you see it's a sort of mix of respect, but they both kind of like square up a little bit. Like, give me an insight check. You all, those of you that are up there witnessing this, give me an insight check.
I like to say that now that I'm down babysitting Aiden, I'm just gonna start drinking alcohol now.
You do start drinking. It's true.
All the cool Aidens are doing it.
I've given up.
16 for
11,
Rayonde.
16, okay?
30-20.
Dirty 20. You're used to people like you're like, oh, it's because I'm a dragonborn. Like, Karrin and Kerrin, you all realize. I mean, it's literally fire and water. Like, I mean, they're creatures of elemental water, and he is essentially a creature of elemental fire. So,
This is interesting.
Who are your new friends, Karen?
Children of the Sea, Umi and Lingus.
Oh, they're... Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think they might help us.
They seem to have the pertinent information,
Oh, okay, good.
but we
So-
should probably find someplace a little more subtle. Unless this works for you.
she stands up, and when she stands up, the water ball that she's sitting on just turns into a thick fog. Like, it is, like, difficult to see, like, almost out of arm's reach. Like, you all can kind of see each other.
This works.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
She looks at you, and she's like, you'll be able to do this in no time, dear. I promise you.
I really hope you're right.
She's like, She looks, and you all notice Helene's hair is starting to like super frizz, and she goes, "Ooh, sorry," and she motions, and you see the moisture actually kind of like dissipates just right around here.
No, it's all right. It's a
Been
look.
there, done that. That's why I don't have no hair no more.
Same, yeah.
It's you know what? It'll just help the coins stay in. You're fine. You're fine.
She's like, okay, and you feel, the gentle kiss of the moisture, like when you're in a dense fog, like you all can very much feel it on you, and they're like, okay, Umi sort of looks around and she's like, I don't really know why my sister here is being so forthcoming with these things. I guess she's just got a soft spot for you wags. Why? Why do you want to know?
Because we recently pulled a whole group of people out of a ship. There were children. Nobody deserves that.
We just want to see a little bit of justice served. Do the right thing.
They do kind of look at it like, do the right thing. They're like,
I know this doesn't seem like the kind of place that like people who do the right thing would be, but I mean, we're trying to find them.
Umi does she's like, well, you have to understand it's that people live by a certain code,
Yes.
Don't all people live by a certain code?
No, my children, they do not. Not everyone does at all.
Not even honor among thieves?
I feel like they need it the most.
She's like, that is a uniquely successful marketing ploy. Designed
We better
to free a
not
person
tell
from their coin purse.
Aiden that.
Gotcha.
They're like, your friend's okay. Like, Bo Brick will keep an eye on him. But you do have to know, this is the type of place where people are just always trying to separate you from this. And when she says this, she holds her hands over, and all three of your coin purses just like fall to the ground in the middle of you. She's like, no, you can take it. I want you to know. It's
Kerrin and Karrin don't even seem bothered by the fact that their coin purses were stolen.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't be.
I know.
She says, it's not so much honor that unites people here. It's self-interest, reputation. You get the reputation of being a double-crosser and a dirty dealer, then you tend to find yourself on the wrong end of, quite frankly, people like us.
And what exactly is your job here?
Umi just sort of smiles, and she's like, they call me the helmswoman around here. She's the harbor master, pointing at Lynn Jess. She's like, what I do is I take out the trash.
Who do you usually technically consider the trash, if I may ask?
She's like, I wish I could twist Axos' little head off of his body to tell you the truth. But
Gotcha.
he knows the right people. And quite frankly, usually behaves himself here.
That gnome privilege.
That gnome privilege. We wouldn't know. But he's a merchant in the most terrible of cargoes. He doesn't flaunt it. He does his I'm just an innocent drunk gnome bit. Did you guys, when you come out, did he do the whole, like, oh, I'm so drunk out in front of the ship type?
Yeah, and he said that he saved people.
Yeah. Yep. That's an old trick. I think he knows usually they don't really grab rookies off the streets around here because the last thing we need is this little peaceful coexistence we kind of have in place with the guards. We sort of do what we do. They sort of don't look too close. And if tourists start getting grabbed off of the pier, it's bad for business for everyone. I think maybe he just thought you guys were a little too tempting of a target to pass up. And
That wouldn't be the first time.
I know. Do we have signs on our head or something?
Lynn Jess looks at you and she's like,
Oh.
you're all just so in the mist, like a hand physically coalesces and sort of like gives you a little tap under the chin. She's like, you're just so lively.
Gotcha.
It's not a weakness. Hold on to it as long as you can, really. But just understand that sweet perfume of youth attracts flies.
Makes sense.
Meanwhile, downstairs,
How am I at attracting flies with my innocent, sweet youth that is super drunk?
Bobrick's like, you look like you might know the right side of a weapon there. What is your weapon of choice, lad? What do you like?
Me?
Yeah,
I'm versatile.
aye.
I'm gonna flip my daggers, put those back in, and then take out my rapier and just show a little bit of it.
He's like, I know. Between your dexterous nature, your clear constitution, he says, kind of motioning to all the empty glasses and flagons in front of the two of you. Mm-hmm. He's like, and I believe I might be able to get you an audition in a place where you could do a little bit of a sword work and make a bit of coin for yourself too. In my younger days, it was how I paid for I won't call it my habit here, I'll call it my opportunity. But the stake in this very establishment I did.
And a fine establishment it is, but I don't...
It is a fine establishment!
Hey! I don't want to be part of some two-bit. I want the big game. What's the big game in this town? Tell me.
I tell you what, lad.
Yeah.
Why don't we arrange a little audition? Friendly contest.
I can be friendly.
Aye, they want to be friendly, and he like slaps down 3 times on the bar, and a human walks up who is wearing studded leather and has crisp, piercing blue eyes and like a blonde buzz cut. And Bobrick looks over him and goes, Markle, our young friend here wants to audition for the crew.
I want to slam my little ale thing down. Same.
Give me a constitution check.
Just 12.
Same thing. This stuff hits hard.
Same.
So it's one of those things where it's like you're fine till you get off the stool type deal. You're like, I'm all right. I may not be all right.
Everything is wobbly.
He's like, hey.
We're on a ship.
Yeah, you gotta get your sea legs. He's like, aye, come, both of you.
Yeah.
It's and he walks over to the bar and like throws the divider out of the way, and he's like, come, and he like goes over, pushes a crate out of the way, and pulls open a trapdoor.
Oh no.
And he looks over and he's like, we're doing auditions, and they're like, auditions, and a bunch of them like get out. Audition. Come, he leads you all down the stairs and into what would have been the hold of the ship at one point. And there's, nets and rigging and everything you'd expect to find. And the far corner of the room is all empty except for a pit that is roped off. And it's just like kind of inset slightly, like down into the floor, maybe like a foot or so. And he walks over and he's like, all right, okay, this is the non-lethal combat. I got to tell you that it wouldn't have anything terrible happen to either of you lads. As long as you fight with honor, you know, that's it.
Yeah, honor among thieves is important.
Hey, yeah, no, true. That is the first and greatest rule by which we all live.
For sure. I'm definitely living that way.
He's like, okay, well, you have to fight fairly, and you have to fight honorably, and you have to fight to the best of your abilities. Otherwise, we'll be offended. And what happens if we get offended, Markul? And when he says that, he just turns his hands over, and both hands erupt into flames. And he just says, nothing good.
Fire.
It looks so fun.
Yeah. He's like, I assure you it isn't.
That's hot.
Bobrick points at the pit, and he's like, all right, get in.
Very daintily.
He's like, all right,
At some point, the twin spider sense goes off.
you two, audition. Aiden and Xander, give me initiative.
I've been waiting for this.
And there's a crowd of people down.
All right. I think that's a 19. Yeah, 19.
For
Me-
initiative? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Upstairs, Umi and Lynn Jess,
Right in
one
the
of
face.
one of them you see turns and looks towards the doorway, and you see a different gnome, is like making sign gestures, and they go, oh. Your friends are auditioning for the crew downstairs. This I've got to see.
What?
Oh, yeah.
We're going.
She stops and she leans over into your ear, Kerrin. And in Elvis, she gives you an address and she says, trust no one. It's like this trade is making a lot of fat people even fatter. They do not want to see it stop no matter what they say in public. And she leans back and she's like, she looks over at you, Helene, and she's like, how good's your memory?
It's pretty good. Take or leave. I have good days, I have bad days.
She's like, I'm going to tell you something that I want you to remember to the best of your ability, okay?
Okay.
And she starts speaking primordial to you. And it sounds like crashing waves, but you think you can kind of memorize the pattern. She's like, keep that in your mind.
Gladly.
I think the time will come that it makes sense. And Umi walks over, and there's a big, thick length of rope there. And she's like, would you all like to take the express route down? She's like, also, under no circumstances say that you want to audition for the crew, okay? And she grabs the rope and swings out really wide. And downstairs, you see that woman comes into the window and lands as what happens?
I'm focusing on kicking my good buddy's ass.
Right?
This is fine.
Aiden has said that they could kick my ass many times.
What's your AC, buddy?
So let's see this. 18.
I will give you no penalties. We just assume that the fact that you're both applying non-lethal damage is sort of a push here.
Right,
you know?
yeah. Final
So,
hit, you
yeah.
get to determine whether
Yeah.
a thing is lethal or non-lethal.
No, my fists are deadly.
So,
I know you like my fists are deadly, and they're like swords.
and because he's my buddy, I try to come in at him with the butt end of it, but like, to be frank, that is not my specialty. I've never worked with that. The balance of it's pretty weird, so I whiff it a little bit, but I'm gonna see whether maybe I get lucky on the short sword.
Okay.
But what you need to remember is that I'm very charming. And so I'm gonna just fancy footwork right away from that.
Yeah, this when you come and you're miss, you hear Bobrick's like, aim for the one in the middle.
Which one is it?
Xander, you've seen Aiden do this 100 times, and you're like, they're a little out of it right now.
I got a dirty 20.
I'd
I'd like to close the distance because I know Aiden is quite the acrobatic person,
Mhm.
and I would like to not have any backflips running away from me. I just want to get in there and just do one, 2, 3 to the hook to the face. It's just hands.
combo.
Just hands.
Yeah, no, hook me with your face.
Just
Yeah.
jab.
All right, give me your attack
Hit
roll.
my face.
Oh, you said you got 20. You already got it.
With your
Yeah, I
face.
got
Alright.
20. Well, it's not.
You,
that
you only,
easy.
you only have the one attack currently, right?
It's just unarmed. I'm
Yeah.
just punching.
Yeah.
Punching.
Well, I have 2
I will
attacks.
take-
I get 2
you get
attacks.
2, you okay?
I will
Yeah.
take a damage.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it again, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, that probably doesn't hit.
What is it?
That's a 9.
In fact, does not hit.
I am drunk.
Yeah. It
That's no
feels
excuse.
good to sting him a good time though. There's been plenty of times in your life that you just wanted to jaw him at least
Well,
once.
I don't think anything bad is happening. I think we're just having a fun
No,
time.
yeah, right.
I think this is fun.
Around all of you are sort of like making your way like in through the window. It's like Rayonde, but how do you go down on the rope?
Could I just kind of slide down it like a...
Nope. Roll just on the off chance you don't get a 1. We'll see how much pizzazz you come in with.
Oh, that's a lot of pizzazz. That is 24 points of pizzazz.
What kind of entry does Rayonde make here? You see Umi like kind of swings wide, just like whoop,
I
swings
think I
in.
kind of spiral around it, and then when I get to the base of it, I just slide out like risky business style, effortlessly, and then stop.
When Helene and Karrin and Kerrin, you all come, Lynn Jess just says like, that was beautiful, but please allow me. And out of the water, a spiral slide comes up. That she's like, yeah, no, it's great, and like just like lays you like right in there. Yeah, okay. And afterwards, she steps onto the water, and it just like comes down, and she steps as like it's flawless, like she's like walk, and she's in. Yep. And you all witness Xander and Aiden in a circle with people standing around them, cheering and placing wagers, throwing hands with each other.
What? Why though?
So I can tell this fool is drunk. He's swinging wide. So I want to just dance around behind him so he cannot see me.
Right. So here's how we are going to handle this.
How close?
We are going to resolve this.
Reactions,
Trying to see
maybe?
me?
We're going to resolve this in 3 opposed rolls.
All right.
Just so we'll be are you more dex based or more strength based,
Dex.
Aiden? And strength for Xander. So
What
it's
kind
gonna
of
be
rubs do you know?
your roll with your dex.
Yep.
Your roll with your strength. Best of 3. Whoever wins 2 of these wins the fight.
Okay. I technically pre-rolled. Should I just...
It's
Yeah,
fine.
I
No,
also
you-
did, so I have to
Well,
count it.
we'll do
because
it
I-
fresh. We'll do it. We'll let fate decide right now. So roll it now.
All right.
We're adding the...
Your
just the
strength
strength?
bonus, yeah.
Wait, we're
Just
not
the
doing...
attribute.
Oh, gotcha. I was
The-
like, we're not
the
using
bonus,
the... Okay.
Well, I mean, you give me the numbers here.
1,
Uh-huh.
11.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. I guess... Well, that's natural 1. 11, 13, 14, 15. Another 1.
Jeez, waste.
I've never...
More than that.
Yeah, I haven't rolled bad at all this whole night until literally
I needed a
right
win.
now.
I needed a win against you. I did not win at races. I did
never
not
gonna
win
hear the end of
at
this.
parkour, but you know I win at bad ideas.
Oh my
You
God.
know, Xander, you sting him, and you're like, yeah, that's right. And you see Helene
just
and
pretending.
everyone else run in, and you're like, I have made a mistake. And
Decisions were made.
what do you do, Aiden?
So
Because you also see Helene, Karrin, Kerrin, and Rayonde get there just in time to see you, like, take one in the face.
Oh. Not
Sweep
in
the
front of
leg.
them. So I take advantage of his distraction, get around back, and just, with the butt of my short sword, clump him up the back of the skull.
You swing, whoop, boop, hit you in the off switch. Boom.
I
And
was
catch
tired
him,
anyway.
because he's still my buddy. Magnanimous in victory.
And you hear, you're a part of the crew now, lad. You made it to the crew. And you see the dwarf runs out and hugs him. He's like, aye. And when you hug him, he steps back and he takes your coin purse out. And he's like, you can have that back.
Can I pull something off him? Can I at least try?
You can try.
Okay.
Sleight of hand, yep.
16.
You try and slide, and he just grabs your hand. He's like, I know.
And more to learn, more to learn.
Yep, he's like, all right.
Then I kind of just
I'll get you.
get him.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, okay, I'll get you a proper fight. And right when he says, I'll get you a proper fight, Umi leans over and whispers in your ear, now's when things get complicated. And that's actually a good place for us to stop. So, thank you all for tuning in. Stick around, inevitably, for Critical Role, and we will see you all again next week.